Welcome to another episode of People L Pod. Usually when we track the trajectory of like a pop culture icon, there's a very standard, heavily worn playbook.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about relentless visibility.
Right. You get your face on every magazine, you broadcast your entire personal life on social media, you make sure everyone knows exactly who you are, who you're dating, what you're thinking about at every waking moment.
Yeah, the total overexposure route.
Exactly. But today, we are looking at a story that completely flips that script. We're doing a deep dive into a modern paradox. I mean, how does a child prodigy, someone who's performing on national television at age 10 and signing a highly restrictive major record deal at 14, somehow become one of the most anonymous, mysterious figures in modern music?
Only to then emerge years later
Yeah.
as this massive Gen Z icon with, an Oscar, an Emmy, and 5 Grammys.
It's wild. It's essentially a reverse superhero origin story. Like, instead of putting on a mask to go out and fight crime, she put on dark sunglasses and hid her identity to protect her art.
It is a profound contradiction, really. I mean, we're talking about Gabriella Wilson, who is universally known to the world as H.E.R.
Right.
And she's someone who was practically raised inside the machinery of the industry spotlight, only to deliberately step out of it, obscure her identity, and kind of, find her true power in the shadows.
And for you listening, understanding the mechanics of this journey is incredibly relevant right now because we live in an era of just absolute overexposure.
Oh, for sure. We are constantly fed this narrative that to be successful, you have to commodify your entire existence into a brand.
Yeah, but she achieved undeniable superstardom by forcing the culture to stop looking at her personal life. She made us focus entirely on the auditory experience.
Which is so rare.
It really is. But to understand the power of that anonymity, we have to look at what she was hiding from. Because before she was this mysterious R&B savior in the dark sunglasses, she was simply Gabi.
Right. Gabi, a kid growing up in Vallejo, California, in a house that was essentially vibrating with music.
Literally vibrating.
Right. Literally. So she was born to a Filipino mother and an African-American father. And you have to picture the architectural reality of this environment. Her father was a working musician in a cover band.
Okay.
And they hosted their practice sessions right there in the family's living room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she wasn't just casually listening to music on the radio. She was watching the mechanical deconstruction of songs.
Like seeing how the sausage gets made.
Exactly. She saw how a bass line locks in with a kick drum, how vocal harmonies are layered in real time.
It's the difference between eating a great meal and growing up in a commercial kitchen. She was watching the recipe being made right in front of her.
And it wasn't just her father's side either. Her mother's extended family were also deeply musical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're talking guitarists, drummers, bassists, vocalists getting together for these intense family karaoke events.
I love that.
So she is completely immersed in this rich, cross-cultural melting pot of sound. And she cited these early visceral moments as her foundational influences.
Okay, let's unpack this, because lots of kids grow up in musical households, right? I mean, my uncle plays a pretty decent acoustic guitar at Thanksgiving, but that didn't turn me into a Grammy winner.
Right.
So how exactly does a 10-year-old jump from a Vallejo living room to covering Aretha Franklin's Freeway of Love at the legendary Apollo Theater in Harlem and playing an Alicia Keys song on the piano for the Today Show? Like, what is the actual mechanism that gets a child onto national television?
Well, it's this potent combination of highly developed technical proficiency and, honestly, aggressive industry scouting.
Okay.
Talent scouts are constantly looking for the next Alicia Keys or Stevie Wonder. And when they find a 10-year-old with actual pitch control, advanced piano skills, and the stage presence of an adult, the industry pounces.
They don't waste any time.
No, they really don't. Her early resume reads like the career of a seasoned veteran. By age 9, she makes her acting debut in a Nickelodeon film called Schoolgirls.
Wait, created by Nick Cannon, right?
Created by Nick Cannon.
And Nick Cannon at that time was deeply plugged into the youth entertainment pipeline.
Exactly. And that pipeline moves incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So by 10, she's on the Today Show, she's at the Apollo, she's performing on Maury. Yeah. And the next year, she's on Good Morning America and The View. Then by 12, she's performing at the 2010 BET Awards. She's singing an Alicia Keys tribute and competing on Radio Disney's The Next Big Thing.
Just listening to that list makes me exhausted. I mean, you can imagine the psychological toll that takes. You aren't just a kid anymore. You are a highly valuable asset to a lot of adults.
And that leads to the crucial turning point. During this prodigy phase, she's managed by Will Smith's Overbrook Entertainment.
Okay.
And then, at just 14 years old, she signs a multi-album record deal with Sony's RCA Records. And this deal was arranged by Jeff Robinson's MBK Entertainment, who also became her management.
A major label deal at 14. I mean, on the surface, for you listening, that probably looks like the ultimate dream.
It sounds like making it.
Right. But that contract actually created a trap. The industry machine expects a return on its investment. They wanted Gabi the pop star, an easily categorizable, highly marketable teenage product.
Yeah, and you really see that play out in 2014. She's around 17, and she releases her debut single under her real name, Gabi Wilson. It was called Something to Prove.
And how'd that go?
Well, the song itself was fine. She obviously had incredible talent, but the traditional path just didn't ignite.
Yeah.
Releasing music as Gabi Wilson, the former child star, it just felt manufacture. It didn't define a unique artistic lane for her.
So to escape that pop star box her label built, she realizes she has to effectively kill off the Gabi persona completely. Here's where it gets really interesting. In 2016, she reinvents herself.
Completely reinvents herself.
Right. She drops her name, drops her public face, and becomes H.E.R. She releases her debut EP, H.E.R. Volume 1, and the album cover is just a silhouette.
Yeah, no face at all.
Exactly. When she performs, she's hidden behind oversized sunglasses and heavy hair. Forbes even made the comparison to The Weeknd's enigmatic early career back in 2017. But there is a deep irony in the name she chose, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. The irony is central to the entire project because H.E.R. is an acronym. It stands for Having Everything Revealed.
Having everything revealed while meticulously keeping your face hidden from the public. I mean, that's brilliant. But wait, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
Isn't that just a brilliant marketing gimmick? Like in the music industry, withholding your identity is one of the oldest tricks in the book to generate buzz. By hiding her face, didn't she actually create more hype and mystery than if she had just shown up as a normal artist?
Well, that is definitely the cynical industry view, certainly. And yeah, mystery sells. But what's fascinating here is if you look at her reasoning, and you connect it to the pressure of being managed since she was literally a child, it was a necessary psychological shield.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, in interviews, she called this the era of the anti-star. She stated, and I'm quoting here, "I really just wanted it to be about the music and get away from who is she with and what is she wearing."
Wow, she was drawing a really hard boundary.
Exactly. By removing her fashion, her face, her relationship status from the equation, she forced the listener to connect purely with the vulnerability of the lyrics.
She was reclaiming control. Because the pressure on young women in R&B and pop to commodify their bodies and, their personal drama is staggering.
It really is.
By removing herself visually, she demanded to be evaluated solely on her technical and emotional output.
And that strategy of intentional obscurity, it actually bypassed the traditional corporate gatekeepers.
Did it really?
Oh, completely. The industry cosigns she received for that first EP were unprecedented. You had legends like Usher, Wyclef Jean, and Pusha T supporting her.
That's a serious lineup.
Right, and her RCA label mates Alicia Keys and Bryson Tiller were amplifying her work too.
But we have to talk about how Rihanna factored into this, because that really highlights how modern music promotion actually works.
Yes, this is such a great example. So in April 2017, Rihanna posted this seemingly casual Instagram clip.
All right.
It was just a video of her hair blowing in the wind. But H.E.R.'s track Focus was playing in the background. And that clip generated over 5 million views organically.
Which is an incredible mechanism. I mean, a record label can spend millions of dollars trying to force a song onto traditional radio rotation, but one organic, algorithmically explosive post from Rihanna just completely bypasses the PR machine.
It really does. It gives the artist immediate cultural cachet.
Precisely. Suddenly, Issa Rae from HBO's Insecure is supporting her. Taraji P. Henson from Empire, Kylie and Kendall Jenner are posting about her.
The word-of-mouth momentum just becomes unstoppable at that point.
And the critical accolades follow naturally. Rolling Stone puts her on their 10 Artists You Need to Know list. NPR champions the album. And for her 2017 self-titled compilation album, she doesn't just get nominated, she wins 2 Grammys.
Yeah, Best R&B Album and Best R&B Performance for Best Part with Daniel Caesar.
So what does this all mean? The narrative doesn't stop at her conquering R&B, right? Because if you examine her sources of inspiration, her sheer technical talent could never be contained to just one genre.
No, not at all.
You read her list of influences, and it is wildly eclectic.
It is a fascinating cross-section of musical history. I mean, she cites the expected soul legends like Lauryn Hill, Stevie Wonder, and Alicia Keys.
Sure.
But she explicitly credits Prince as one of her core influences. And you can really hear that in her musicianship. She is a phenomenal guitarist, drawing heavily from Jimi Hendrix, B.B. King, John Mayer, and Lenny Kravitz.
And we can't forget the influence of her mother's roots, too. She grew up absorbing Filipino ballad singers like Sharon Cuneta and H.E.R.
That is such a crucial ingredient. Filipino pop music, or OPM, is incredibly emotive.
Oh.
It relies heavily on deep sentiment and these complex vocal acrobatics. So you take that high-emotion vocal foundation, you combine it with the aggressive, virtuosic guitar shredding of Hendrix, and then you layer it with the visionary, boundary-pushing production style of Prince.
That's a crazy combination.
It is. And the result is an artist who easily transcends traditional genre boundaries.
I want to see how that eclectic mix translates to her actual output, because she didn't just stay in the contemporary R&B lane. From 2020 onward, she goes on an absolute dominant run across multiple mediums.
He really does.
We are looking at a full-blown ego trajectory here. Let's break down how she actually accomplished that.
Okay, so first, she wins her third Grammy for Song of the Year with I Can't Breathe.
Right.
This was released in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. And musically and culturally, it succeeded where a lot of celebrity protest anthems fail because it was raw. It was visceral and stripped down.
Yeah, it wasn't overproduced.
Exactly. It captured the heavy, suffocating zeitgeist of that specific cultural moment.
It felt like an authentic artistic response rather than, a calculated PR move. And then she transitions into cinema.
Yes. She writes and performs Fight for You for the film Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, wow.
And the creative process there involved taking her traditional R&B sensibilities and adapting them to the cinematic tension of a historical drama.
And that track was huge.
Huge. It won a Grammy for Best Traditional R&B Performance, and critically, it won the Academy Award for Best Original Song.
An Oscar.
An Oscar. And that achievement actually made her the very first winner of an Academy Award born in Generation Z.
First Gen Z Oscar winner. That is a significant historical marker.
Truly.
And then she expanded into television, contributing to Barack and Michelle Obama's animated children's series, We the People, on Netflix, which earned her a Children's and Family Emmy Award.
So she secures the Emmy, the Oscar, and 5 Grammys in total. But what is most telling about this period is the visual evolution.
Okay, how so?
Well, the artist who originally hid her face behind silhouettes and oversized sunglasses was suddenly stepping fully into the spotlight.
Which is really interesting. Why is she suddenly comfortable showing her face? It seems to me that once she established her undeniable talent, once she held the leverage, she no longer needed the sunglasses as a shield.
That's exactly it.
We saw her acting debut in the 2023 film adaptation of The Color Purple, where she played Mary Squeak Agnes, earning a SAG Award nomination and winning an NAACP Image Award.
Yeah, and she also played the iconic role of Belle in ABC's Beauty and the Beast, the 30th celebration.
Right.
And her live performances transformed into these high-visibility spectacles. I mean, at Super Bowl LV8 in 2024, she wasn't hidden in the shadows. She was front and center, shredding the electric guitar alongside Usher during his halftime show.
And she is continuing that visual dominance. In 2025, it was announced she'll be voicing a lead character named Joe in the upcoming 2026 DreamWorks animated film Forgotten Island. She has methodically built a cross-platform empire.
She has. This raises an important question, though, because this brings us to a deeply complicated reality.
Yeah.
From the outside, for you listening to this incredible list of achievements, it looks like a flawless, meteoric ascent. But the back end of her career, the business machinery operating beneath the surface, was significantly more fraught.
We have to acknowledge this because it connects directly to why she needed the H.E.R. persona in the first place. There is an inevitable tension in the music business. The machine discovers a child star, invests in them, and locks them into restrictive contracts. But that child eventually grows into an adult who naturally wants control over her own destiny, her own art, and her own finances. I look at it this way. It's like taking out a mortgage when you're a toddler.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Right. The label builds the house, but when you turn 25, you realize you are legally bound to pay for a house you never actually designed or wanted.
That is a highly accurate analogy for minor contracts in the entertainment industry. They are designed to lock in long-term value for the label before the artist fully understands their own worth.
Exactly.
We noted earlier that at 14, she signed a deal arranged by her manager, Jeff Robinson's MBK Entertainment, who also served as her management.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward a decade, and in 2022, H.E.R. had to legally file a lawsuit to be released from her label, MBK Entertainment.
She had to sue the very management team that signed her when she was in middle school.
Yep.
That reveals the true function of her anonymity, I think. The H.E.R. persona wasn't just a marketing gimmick for the public. It was a psychological and artistic boundary set up to protect herself from her own label's commodification.
Exact.
She was hiding from the machine until she was powerful enough to dismantle it.
Precisely. The legal dispute was about breaking free from those early restrictive constraints. And she succeeded.
Oh, she did.
She did. In February 2024, she signed a new management deal with Lighthouse Management Plus Media, whose founder, Aline Keshishin, represents established powerhouses like Olivia Rodrigo and Selena Gomez.
Wow. Okay. That 2024 management change is the ultimate signal of her emancipation then. She is finally, legally and creatively in control of the empire she built.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, her journey is a masterclass in protecting one's boundaries.
Yeah.
When she was a teenager, she saw that the industry was preparing to consume her identity, her looks, and her personal life. So she utilized anonymity as a weapon.
Yeah.
She protected her art by withholding herself.
And as she grew into her success, she realized the business structure she was built on was fundamentally broken. So she fought a complex legal battle to reclaim her independence. It brings an entirely new depth to her acronym, having everything revealed.
It really does.
She dictated the terms of that revelation. She revealed her talent first on her own schedule, and eventually she revealed her strength as an independent businesswoman.
It's an incredible story of taking the power back.
It really is. I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to chew on today. We live in a modern digital culture that constantly demands our visibility. We are told that our worth is tied to how much of ourselves we broadcast, how much we overshare, and how loudly we demand attention.
Right.
But H.E.R.'s journey proves the exact opposite. She proved that true longevity, profound cultural impact, and genuine superstardom can actually come from holding something back. By giving the world less of herself, she forced us all to listen closer, letting the work speak entirely for itself. Thanks for listening to People Bod. Keep tuning in for more stories worth knowing.